for Luke and Blake, my little students of the day. So today we are going to talk about au fil du temps, which means over the course of time. Because right now we are in a little archaeological place and we're just going to see what happened in the history of this planet. So like 13 billion years ago we had like what we call the Big Bang, and eventually after that we had the creation of the planet Earth, which is the planet we live on, 4.5 billion years ago. Anyway, after we had the creation of the appearance of the bacteria, of the first invertebrates, but something that's going to interest you, 225 million years ago, appearance of the dinosaurs. You know, those big, scary animals that actually disappeared 65 million years ago, which is quite interesting. And look, that's your old ancestor, and he appeared around 8 million years ago. And we made all this time to where we are now, but between this time we were at first hunter-gatherer, and then we became farmers, and now we live in society, in Napier and everything else. But 3,000 years ago it was the appearance of the writings, but 3,000 before Christ, so 5,000 years ago. And that was the Sumerians. 2,500 BC was the big pyramids. Have you seen those ones? You should Google them. Beautiful pyramids. And then eventually after that, it was the discovery of America. We had the French Revolution in 1789, which is a massive date for all the French. After that, we had Napoleon. Napoleon is the French emperor, the first French emperor. And he was from a little island called Corsica. Very strong character, amazing man, and also a bit crazy. After that, we had important date for France, 1848. It was the end of slavery. And then we moved to 1940 and 1918. That was the World War, the First World War, which actually started between Germany and France. And the Germans wanted to invade a little place called Alsace. That's where I come from. And France wasn't happy about that, so we fought. And eventually the British and America and New Zealand people, Maoris, came to help us to keep Alsace French. If not, I would be German. But thanks to the Maoris, I am French. After this mom would like this. 1944, it was the right for women to vote in France. 1944, so before the end of the war. And then there was another big war, which is the Second World War, and again, Maoris and Kiwis came to France to help us, or Europe, to fight the German, and also the Japanese. The Japanese were friends with the Germans and the Italians. And the rest of the world fought against them. And that's a big one. 1969, first man to put a foot on the moon. And that's an amazing thing. You should watch it on TV sometime, on Google.
What's his name?
His name is Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong, first man to put a foot on the moon and put the little American flag.
But he wasn't the first man in space, was he?
No, first man in space was Yuri Gagarin.
From where?
He was a Russian man, because there was a bit of a competition between the Russian and the Americans. And the Russians were the first one in space, really, or around the moon. But the Americans were the first one to step on the moon, officially. And 1989 is the apparition of internet, but also it's the end of the Cold War officially, because that's when we broke the Berlin Wall. So there was post-war. It was what we call the Cold War between Russia and America. And 1989, officially, symbolically, it stopped. I remember that because it was a big day. And 2002, we had the euro in France, and now we pay everything with euros, and before it was French francs. And that's it for today, kids. Be nice to your parents. Bisous.